Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing some algebra. We're going to be going over factoring. We're going to be going over factoring trinomials. When we have an equation that is in the form of x squared plus bx plus c, we want to factor this out. We want to find the numbers that multiply up to this. We're going to look for any two numbers, r and s, such that r plus s equals b, so we're going to add up to the middle term, and r times s equals c, so then we are going to multiply up to the last term here. So the factored form would be x plus r times x plus s. So let's look at an example here. Factoring is the reverse of expanding an algebraic expression. So if we have x squared plus 3x plus 2, we want to multiply up to the last term and add up to the middle term. So let's look at the factors of 2. So if we have 2, what multiplies up to 2? Well, 1 times 2. And if we added 1 plus 2, we get 3. So we multiply up to 2, but we need to add up to 3. Yes. So when we factor this, we have our parentheses, and our x times x gives us our x squared, and our 1 times 2 gives us 2, and then we multiply the outer and the inner terms. That's going to give us a 1x and a 2x, which adds up to 3x, and that's our middle term. So we're doing a reverse FOIL here, because x times x is our x squared, and 1 times 2 is 2, and the middle terms add up to 1x plus 2x would give us 3x. So let's look at another example. So we're looking for factoring is what multiplies up to an expanded form. So here's our expanded form, x squared minus 2x plus 8. So let's look at our last number here, 8, and let's list out the factors of 8. It's going to be 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. Now 1 plus 8 is 9 and 2 plus 4 is 6. But we need a negative 2. So, and this is a negative 8. So let's rewrite that. Let's erase this. Sometimes in math there's trial and error. You have to refigure. So 1 times a negative 8, or a negative 1 times a positive 8, negative 2 times 4, or 2 times a negative 4. So let's add straight across. Here we'd get a negative 7. Here we'd get a positive 7. Here we'd get a positive 2, and here we'd get a negative 2. So our middle term is negative 2, so that's what we want to add up to. So our factors, the two numbers that we're going to use, are a positive 2 and a negative 4 because they multiply up to a negative 8, and a positive 2 and a negative 4 because they add up to a negative 2. So if we would multiply this out, x times x would give us our x squared, x times 2 would give us 2x, negative 4 times x would give us a negative 4x, and negative 4 times 2 would give us our negative 8. Negative 4 positive 2 is going to give us our negative 2x. So looking at common factors, let's take a look at 4x squared minus 2x. So 2x is a common factor. If we look at what 4x squared, what does 4x squared multiply up to? It's 2x times 2x. And a negative 2x is 2x times a negative 1. So what's the common factor? What factor do they both share? Well, they both share a 2x. So this is essentially what we can take out of this problem here. 2x is a common factor. So factoring this expression is going to give us 2x, and then we're left with 2x minus 1. 2x minus 1, because if we distribute this and multiply this back up, 2x times 2x is 4x squared, and 2x times a negative 1 is a negative 2x. So we're looking sometimes for common factors. Here's another trinomial. What multiplies up to 6 and adds up to 5? So let's look at 6. We have 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. 1 times 6 is 7. Plus 1 plus 6 is 7. 2 plus 3 is 5. So we want to add up to 5. So we're going to use these two numbers. R is 2 and S is 3. So that 2 plus 3 equals 5, our middle term. And 2 times 3 equals 6. So the expression then becomes x plus 2 times x plus 3. So that's what this factors out to be. X plus 2 times x plus 3. If we multiply this back out, we would get back to our original equation. Looking at another trinomial. Here we have negative 21. Let's look at the factors of negative 21. We have 1 times a negative 21. We have negative 1 times 21. And does 2 go into it? No, it's not even. Does 3 go into it? 2 plus 1 is 3. Yes, 3 can go into it. 3 times a negative 7 and a negative 3 times 7. Does 4 go into it? Nope. 5? Nope. Doesn't end with a 0 or 5. 6? No. 7? Yes. Okay. So now we have all our factors of 21. Now we're going to add across. Here we have a negative 20 and a positive 20. Here we'd have a negative 4 and here we'd have a positive 4. So the numbers that we want to use that would factor out would be a negative 3 and a positive 7. So negative 3 and positive 4 would give us negative 21, and positive 4 times x is 4x, and x times a negative 3 is a negative 3x. This should be 7. Seven times x is 7x, and then 3 times negative 3 times x is negative 3x. So 7 plus a negative 3 is going to give us our negative 4x, and 7 times a negative 3 is a negative 21. Sometimes with these they can be trial and error, but if you do your factoring chart, you can usually find your answer pretty quickly. We do have some factoring formulas that we look at. This is the difference of squares. So if you have two squares, they're being subtracted, they're going to factor out to a minus b plus times a plus b. Then we have perfect square trinomials that factor out to a plus b squared or a minus b squared. Then we have the difference of cubes, and we have the sum of cubes. So let's look at the difference of squares. So 9 is a perfect square, and of course x squared, and 36 is a perfect square. Squares are always good to know because you need to know 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, so 9 is a perfect square, and then 4 squared is 16, so we need to know 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, okay, all the way up to 100. Definitely memorize your squares, they're very helpful. So 9x squared, 9 is 3 squared, of course x is x squared, 36 is 6 squared, so this is 3x squared minus 6 squared. So two perfect squares, and we factor this out as 3 minus 6, so this is our a, and this is our b number, 3 minus 6 times 3x plus 6. Okay, so this is exactly how it's factored out if you see the difference of squares, perfect squares. Here's another one. We have the difference of cubes. So 125 is 5 cubed, and of course x, we have x cubed. 27 is 3 cubed. So here we have our a is 5x and our b is 3. So this is factored out as 5x minus 3. Then we have a squared. So we're going to take 5x squared, so that's 25x squared, and then a times b, so 5x times 3 is going to be a 15x. And then 3, which is b, or 3 squared is 9. So this is how we'd factor it out. If you have any other questions about factoring or any problems that you want helped to solve, please leave a comment below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to share it with your friends and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.